Now we're here with Kemi Tijani, Head of Sales Partnerships from Cohere. Thanks for joining us, Kemi.
Thank you so much. It's great to be here.
Well, there's a lot of exciting stuff happening, so I want to dive right in. For starters, and in your own words, what does Cohere do and what is unique about it?
So Cohere is a leader in enterprise AI. We build large language models that do both generative and embeddings use cases that power solutions like search, retrieval augmentation, chat, and a whole bunch of enterprise use cases for LLMs.
Now, why do you think Cohere quickly became one of the few alternatives to the dominant players in the AI market?
A lot of reasons. One, I would say our founders. So Aiden was part of the team that wrote the seminal paper on this topic. We have exceptional technical talent and business talent, but then also we've chosen to focus on enterprise and really optimize these models for enterprise use cases. And not just the models, actually, we optimize the entire serving stack so that it's easy to adopt, implement, manage, and put them in production.
Can you talk about the genesis of the partnership with Oracle, when and how it began?
Sure. We signed the partnership in June, so we're about 3+ months in. On both sides, it's a lot of excitement because we do see the potential of partnering with Oracle, which is a leader in software in enterprise, and you have both SaaS applications and platforms that help us actually integrate into these applications and also partner on building the generative AI platform. And so we see it as a partnership that's beneficial for both sides. You give us access to enterprise, and then we give you access to cutting-edge AI models.
It's 3 months in, and we've heard keynotes from Larry, from Steve Miranda, from Clay. It's like this groundswell of things already happening in a very small amount of time. What have the highlights of the partnership been for you guys?
The biggest thing so far has been the engagement. We've got tremendous engagement across Oracle, all the different teams and verticals we're talking to. They're giving us a lot of insights as to what customers really care about, how best to serve the customers. Of course, we just launched officially today, and so we see a lot of potential going forward for how we actually take this to market and work with customers.
Now, why do you think it's important to have access to a vector database on OCI?
So vector databases help power any sort of retrieval or search-related use cases, because basically what you do is you take the text, you convert it to vectors or numbers, and then you need to store it somewhere. And so the vector database is where you store that, and then you can actually use it with an LLM to power search or retrieval augmentation, chat-related use cases. So it really is where your data lives when you're trying to use that data with LLMs.
And you've talked about how Cohere is, enterprise AI, and Oracle has enterprise applications, lots of enterprise data. So kind of a good, what is it, a fire hose of data coming in, right?
Yeah.
Definitely.
Oracle has introduced retrieval augmentation generation to OCI. What will that mean for generative AI in the enterprise, do you think?
So retrieval augmentation really is about how you take your own data from internal systems, knowledge bases, applications, and then you can actually feed that into the LLM to generate relevant, factual responses to questions from your users, which could be employees or customers. And so it's one way that enterprises can start to leverage their own sort of IP and augment that with the responses coming from LLM. It's sort of the best of both worlds.
So this is kind of the coming out party. I was going to say, what are some of the benefits of the partnership so far? You can answer that. It's kind of early days, but you must be getting a lot of feedback here.
Yeah, for sure. The feedback has been invaluable. It's great for us to see our models being used in so many different use cases. We're talking to teams at Oracle from healthcare, human resources, or HCM, Fusion apps, the generative AI platform. And so just having that sort of depth on industries and enterprise use cases, and having them telling us how best to position has been very helpful for us. I would also say just, on the go-to-market side, the sheer scale and reach that we can achieve with Oracle is something that we look forward to.
So you've talked a lot about enterprises and LLMs. What advice do you have for an enterprise who is, starting to take on an LLM for the first time? Like, this is kind of, as we've talked about, can be a little intimidating, if you will, right? So what's your thoughts?
A few things. The first one is, think about security. Like, we prioritize security, privacy, and that's why we're partnering with Oracle on the Generative AI platform to, allow customers to deploy in any way that makes sense for them. The other thing to think about is you want to start early, but you want to start with as little risk as possible. So start with a use case that maybe is internal, employees can get more efficient, they can learn how to use these tools and start to build that muscle, and then layer on the more complex use cases as you go along.
Yeah, that seems to tie into what we're hearing from a lot of people, like just get started.
Take
Just
the
start
dive,
doing
yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Hey, how are you enjoying CloudWorld thus far?
Oh, it's been great. I'm on the go-to-market side, so I'm meeting with a lot of customers. We're having very productive conversations. We're seeing RAG being a use case that just resonates across board, and so we're excited to take that to market. But then also just meeting all the great folks from Oracle that we've been working with over the last few months has been amazing.
All right, well, we really appreciate
Thank
you guys being on board with us and you joining us here in the studio.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Thanks.